Hello, and thank you for tuning in to this episode of Moore's October Rants. Today, we're diving into a topic that hits deep. The episode is called, Who Could You Really Call in a Moment of Desperation? So, let's get into it. We all like to think we've got friends, right? At least, I hope we do. And family, too. But let's be honest here. Not everyone has a huge support network. Some folks have a tight-knit circle, maybe just one or two people they can count on. But most of us do have someone in our lives, whether it's family or a close friend. But here's the real question. Who could you actually call when you're in a moment of true desperation? Like not just the kind of situation where your car breaks down and you need a quick favor. I'm talking about the serious stuff, when you're feeling mentally or emotionally crushed and you just need someone to talk to. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Who in my life could I really depend on? And when you start to think about that person, do you believe they would genuinely come through for you? Would they show up when it really counts? Here's the thing. Sometimes we create this image of who we think people are, and the truth doesn't always match up with that. I don't have a ton of people in my life outside of family. I've got a few friends, sure, but many of them live far away, so they're not exactly there when I need them most. It's tough when you don't have that immediate support network. Now, I'm not talking about needing someone to pick you up from the side of the road. I'm talking about a mental health crisis, when you're struggling and desperate to talk to someone. Trust becomes a huge factor here. Who can I trust enough to open up to? And can I trust that person to handle it without judgment? I think it's important to ask ourselves these questions. Who could I call? Who could you call? If you were in a desperate spot and needed advice or support, who would be there for you? I think a lot of us believe we know who that person would be, but the truth is, we don't really know until we're in that moment, right? And sometimes, even if we think we have someone, there's this doubt. Would they actually care? Would they help in the way we need? Some people can't turn to family because they're afraid of being judged or seen as weak. Putting 100% trust in someone can be terrifying. No one wants to feel vulnerable or face the fear of rejection in a moment of desperation. That fear of being judged can keep a lot of people quiet, even when they need help the most. And look, I know this is starting to sound like a heavy rant, but it's real. It's something worth thinking about. As much as we'd like to believe people will be there for us, it's often when we're in our darkest moments that we find out who really is. For me, I haven't needed a big save from my family or friends in a long time. But I imagine a scenario, like, say you're in a big city an hour or two from home. You've gone to a concert, had a few drinks, bought some merchandise, and suddenly you realize you don't have enough money for a cab, a bus, or a train home. You're stranded. Now, who would you call? Would you really feel confident someone would come and help you out? Sure, for me, I'm pretty confident my parents or siblings would come to the rescue. Family's the obvious choice for me. But think about it. Who could you actually call in a pinch like that? It's not as simple as we think, because when that moment comes, when you're stuck, you start to see who's truly in your corner. And yeah, maybe you'll be disappointed. Maybe that person you thought would always have your back doesn't show up. And that's a tough pill to swallow. But it's important to reflect on this stuff. I like to keep an open mind, question these things, and share my thoughts with you all, because I think it's something we should all think about. So, that's the rant for today. Thanks again for listening to Moore's October Rants. I hope I've given you something to chew on. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Signing off,